Oh yeah,
Okay.
it showed up on the channel. That's good.
All right, so Eric's talking. We are before the event. People are starting to get into
It's
the waiting room. Okay, we're good.
YouTube
11. Wow.
YouTube is currently saying live in 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Oh wait, I see you. You're there. We're good. Dave, you are currently on my TV. Now I see Greg, and now I see me. So it seems to be working, our live stream.
People are starting to get into the waiting room. Okay, we're good.
And of course, the minute we go live, Grayson's banging on my door trying to get in.
I knew it. I told you.
We
I had
see
to put a deadbolt.
we see you folks in the waiting room. We are just running. Ooh, we have a countdown now. How about that?
And of course, the minute we go live, Grayson's banging on my door trying to get in. I knew it. I had to put a deadbolt.
Somebody's got the YouTube playing in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, if you could mute that, that would be great.
Somebody's got the YouTube playing in the background.
Oh, that might have been Dave. Okay, I muted you guys. You guys can unmute if you want, but someone had something playing. All right, people are here. Soon we shall let people in. All right, 37 people are coming into the room. Everyone is going to be muted. Yeah, Dave, I guess if you could admit people over with that admit button, that would be pretty helpful. Okay.
Dave, did you say you want me to admit people?
Yeah, if you could.
Okay.
Thank you.
Am I starting this, Dave, or are you?
I can say something. We'll give people a little bit of time since we had a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
So we'll move this countdown clock. We can shift time. We'll give it another, say, 5 minutes.
So I have 5 more minutes. I'm stuck on my lozenge.
There are the folks out in the land of the NSA conference.
Wow, look at that. Lots of people are attending. Hello, everyone who's out there. You're all muted, but I'm sure you can see us.
Yep. Your mic is a tiny bit.
Wait, wave if you can see me. Oh, good. Everyone's waving.
All right. We didn't get a chance to add sound, so we'll just sit here in awkward silence.
That's okay. Hey, people are saying hello in the chat too. Hey, Andrew Hurst. Hi,
Oh,
Ron
great.
Labby. Ciao from Italy. Hey, Franco. Neil in Dorchester, UK. Jan in Houston, how are you? Dorothy from Cleveland. Chris from Potsdam, Germany is here. Cynthia from Austin, Texas. Oh, wow. Robert from Australia, where it's 6 a.m. tomorrow. Tom Gillum from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I'm originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We'll have to catch up.
You want to turn your mic up a tiny bit, Eric?
Yeah, okay.
Wayne? Yeah. Starting in 3 minutes and my mic is on. I have
Jan Barant says people have already been meeting in the Facebook room. That's great.
Oh, good.
Wow, the chat's just filling with comments. This is fun.
Kenneth Square, nice. Mushrooms.
I've been on some YouTube live streams where everyone's chatting at the same time and the scroll goes so fast you can't even read it.
Is Mike's mic sound at the right level?
Sounds good.
Okay. I can barely hear Eric.
Yeah, he's soft-spoken.
That's really odd because I'm getting max levels here on my computer. I'm not sure why Zoom is. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Does that fix it? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yes.
Had to change the Zoom setting. It looked like it was minimizing my audio. See, I see Norway is represented. Lawrence and Cassie in the Southern California desert.
Stuart from our club is there.
Yay. At least
Hey,
somebody
Susan
from our
Pinsky
club's
and
there.
David Starkman from Culver City. Hey, Susan and David. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
All right, there we go. So we got how many people we got in here? Can we see? I think we'll need to tweet that. Okay.
118.
118. All right. Very good. So I am going to close this off and just say thanks for coming, and then I'm going to kick it over to our co-chairs, Phyllis Maslin and Greg Perez. You're live, Phyllis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Phyllis Maslin, your this year's convention chair, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the first ever virtual NSA 3D-Con. Well, I'm sad that you're not here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest to join me in the fun here. It is wonderful to see so many new faces joining us virtually. We have a record number of first-time attendees, which is really awesome. And I look forward to meeting you all in the meet and greet and also in the happy hour later on. I now want to introduce you to my co-chair, Greg Perez.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Phyllis. It's been a privilege and also a lot of fun to help bring this convention to you. Our team is working as we speak to make this event a success, as this is a new experience for all of us. Issues may come up and have come up that we haven't anticipated, so please bear with us. I suggest checking the Facebook group periodically, as that's a really quick way to disseminate information. And we'd also like your feedback on how things are going. So keep your 3D glasses handy and have fun. Phyllis?
Oh,
Thanks,
sorry.
Greg. I'm going to turn you over now to the very capable hands of our amazing technical director, Dave Camo, who has been working tirelessly right up to the last minute to make this event happen. So over to you, Dave, and thanks.
Thank you, Phyllis. So yeah, really excited to have everyone here and just be able to kind of span the globe and have this event. 3D people really, I think, see things differently. They see things from different angles and they say, well, not have an event, but another angle is we could have an amazing, crazy event and pull in all kinds of other people that couldn't ordinarily make it. So I think we're really going to knock this one out of the park. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen over here. And what we're just going to give an overview of the website and what kind of ways you can use it and what kind of features we've made available for you and what kind of things you can expect during the convention. And let's see, so maybe someone out there can, we may have room for questions at the end, but we will see because the chat's moving along pretty quickly. So yes, and I think we have the beginning issues ironed out. So we're going to pretty much make that current link be probably 20 minutes beforehand, and that should all work. So here is the web page, which you've probably seen before. Oh, and actually, just a quick Zoom etiquette thing, kind of as Eric has pointed out. We really probably we should applaud for Greg and Phyllis for all the work that they've done and give them a big round of applause. So when you're on camera, like, feel free to be animated and applaud for people. Try not to be distracting. We might turn off your video. It's not a personal thing. Just trying to keep things moving. And so I think that's probably about it for that. So here's the page. The main page is for kind of people coming in and they don't know what's going on. So hopefully everyone's registered, and by registering, we sent out a nice information email that probably explains some of the things that I'm about to talk about with you now. So the virtual convention tab is really the kind of the landing point for everything here. On this virtual convention page, you can click on current event, right to the event that's going on right now. And by doing so, you probably saw that you agree to our code of conduct. So please read the code of conduct before you click on one of these. So there's another feature that's really interesting, and we'll look at it toward the end of my speech here. It's called high fidelity, and it's a really cool kind of room where you can talk to people and move around, and it's also kind of a website replacement. So we have the calendar. I believe that we've gotten the calendar pretty soon. This will change. We were able to switch it, so it's going to start showing it in your current time, hopefully. But for now, we just want to point out that different browsers may show this in Pacific time, So down at the bottom, it says Pacific time. If I zoom in, and you'll need to manually convert it. But like I say, we should be fixing that shortly. And down here, there's also some printable PDFs for some other time zones, which we added sort of last minute. So if you have another time zone for printing that you want to kind of try to create, just send it to our informational message. And that's 3D-Con info. It's NSA 3dconinfo@gmail.com. And we'll do our best to answer. So if you have any questions or problems getting into the events, Greg and our capable team will help you fix that. Also, if you run into any kind of abuse because it's the internet and if someone's making noise or whatever, just feel free to please send us a message and we'll take steps to remedy it. You can see other kind of information on the calendar here. You can see information about the event that's happening, and then you can have a link to the event. You can easily click to subscribe. I found this to be the easiest way. If you have a Google account, click on this and it just adds it to your phone or your tablet or whatever, and then you're able to see it wherever you go. And then there's kind of this other land of other calendars if you want to add it to some other things. Keynote speakers we've talked about before, and the email talks about links about links to view recorded sessions after the conference for registered attendees. So all of that information is in the email that you got. If you registered and you didn't get an email, send us a message and we'll forward it off to you. The art gallery is really wonderful. There's a bunch of, usually it's a whole room. This time it's all online, and we've put together a bunch of different links that you can go in and peruse and be in the world of 3D. 3D Theater's been updated. You can click in here. And one thing, I wonder if Eric has any kind of bead on what the YouTube is looking like right now. Yeah, people are in there.
People are in there. Yeah, I understand there's over 80 people watching on YouTube right now.
Okay, cool. So if you want to watch the conference on YouTube, all you have to do is go to 3d-con.com/YouTube, and that'll take you right to the channel. And then you can subscribe to this channel. You can see this is us live now in a few seconds. And then all the 3D theater will be available there. It'll be multiple streams. So you'll have an anaglyph stream for red, blue, and then you also have side-by-side for 3D TVs and VR.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to experiment to make sure that they can play this on their 3D TV, we do have a side-by-side test video file. You can go to the YouTube channel there, and you can play either the side-by-side test file, or we also have an anaglyph test file to make sure that your TV works or that your device reproduces the colors properly for anaglyph.
Yep. All right, and then here's the Melody Davis information for the sessions tomorrow. On this page, if you're joining the sessions, you can see whether the speakers' materials are in anaglyph or you need to use a lorgnette or side-by-side viewing. You can also see some kind of supplementary materials here. We've made this available so that you can go, and if you have a 3D TV or a monitor, you can switch to a number of different formats, and you can just sit back and kind of watch it. For most of them, we recommend that you watch the speaker just as it happens, and then just look at these at the end. The Limit Showcase will be shown the last day. A lot of competitions happened. That was that competition. We have like 196 entries. Here's the trade fair. You can feel free again to peruse, and you can you'll see more of this in high fidelity. So you can go in and see these people's trade fair tables in a virtual world. And then you can see more on high fidelity, which we'll talk about in a second. And code of conduct we talked about. Registration is still open if you want to get a packet, a really nice souvenir packet with images on the Viewmaster reel made by Phyllis. and has anyone gotten the ViewMaster reel, and does it look great? Give Phyllis a big thumbs up and various wacky sorts of things. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, this is what came in the packet, and it's got a very nice reel from Image 3D inside. So if you've registered and signed up for the packet, you should have gotten one of these in the mail. It also came with a lorgnette viewer and a pair of glasses, one in red cyan anaglyph and one circular polarized that ought to work with passive TV sets.
Right. So if you get those glasses and you think, what do these even do? They're for the future when you need polarized glasses. And one thing to point out is that if you register now, or if you want to get the packet, we are not able to do any kind of processing during the event. So after the event, the messages will be shipped, or the packets will be sent out. And then down here we get kind of into the lower regions of the website, where we have some FAQs, which we've tried to kind of throw some frequently asked questions in here: how to get to Zoom, how to use your 3D TV, kind of different things, VR goggles. If you think something should be there, try to send it over to us. Maybe we can get to it, but no promises. Actually, one thing to point out too, I forgot to say, is that during the workshops and the special interest groups, you can see the different information about them. And some of these have a link to the supplementary materials. So later on, Gordon Owl will be doing the 3D on social media, and he's put together a whole bunch of different pieces of information that you can peruse at your leisure. So that's pretty neat. And then actually, just down below, we have our link to our Facebook group. And I skipped over that in the beginning, but the Facebook group, let's go back to that. The Facebook group is really a vibrant area. We want to have it be really the pulse of the convention. So over here, we have some people have set up some events in here, and they've used their own Zoom session. So if you want to share something with someone, share something with anyone, you can just post a link to a Zoom session. You can say, hey, I'm going to start it at whatever time, or you can create an event. They have these little rooms, right, which someone has created a room and they say, is anyone here yet? So if you want to go pop in there, you can go and say hello to whoever this is. Oh, it's Susan Pinsky. Cool. So go.
Yeah, one of the things that we know everyone's going to miss in this virtual convention is being able to go and visit your friends in their hotel rooms. But the Facebook rooms and being able to create your own Zoom basically gives everyone the opportunity to open the doors to their own room, and you can share whatever you want there.
Right. So yeah, so definitely pop over there, and you can also discuss information about or discuss if you have a follow-up question about the speakers. The speakers might be in there to answer your questions, or they might be in high fidelity, which we'll talk about in a second. So finally, the one part which I haven't even seen yet is this links to a couple of the clubs, right? So this is the 46th National Stereoscopic Association Convention. So the NSA is really just the national hub of everything stereoscopic. So we really want everyone to join. And if you don't get Stereo World, it's an amazing magazine, comes every month, and it's just wonderful. So come over here to Stereo World, click join, and join the club, become a member. And if you can, so it's $38, so you can still register for the convention and get a packet and also a membership for a nice price. So another thing here too that we've linked to is your local clubs at Stereo World. So everyone all around the US, if you want to click, you may find that you have a local club nearby. Now, local is a little weird during this time of life, but a lot of them have online meetings as well. I don't know if this information on this page is super up to date, I have to say, but I know like the LA 3D Club and the New York Club, which I'm a member of, and Ohio and Golden Gate, they're all having online meetings, which are really fantastic. So come over here and check this out. And if you are international and you're interested in 3D, you might want to go to the ISU, the International Stereoscopic Union. Here you can see the member clubs, and you can find what the clubs are in your home country, and go and check those out. So I guess last, and without further ado, since my voice is becoming tiresome to you perhaps, I want to show you this high fidelity world. And what this is it's this really exciting opportunity to be in a little, it's kind of like virtual reality, except for it's just in your browser. So you click on that link, that high fidelity link on the virtual conventions, and what it says it wants to put headphones on, but you'll have a better spatial experience if you do it, but you don't need it. So I'm just going to hit that, and then I'm going to kind of skip by setting these things. I'm going to pass it over to Dave Heiser, who has really taken up the decorations and the creation of this room. So what this is, I can scroll in and out. I've been placed into this room, and I can kind of drag and I can move around. And Dave will talk a little bit more, but this is kind of an alternate convention room. So what I'm going to say is like, hey, Dave Heiser, up in the Ray zone up here, right? So I move up here and I go to the Ray zone, and I talk to him, and now I'm going to be waiting for Dave to pop in and come and join me.
All right, Dave. Here I come. Okay. You can click on this high fidelity link, and it brings up this screen. And as Dave pointed out, you don't really need headphones, but it really enhances the experience. So I recommend it. Another thing I recommend is we don't really know for sure if there's any conflict between Zoom and this high fidelity application. So you might want to Zoom before you log into here, just to prevent any sort of problems. So you click on this, press to play, allow audio, and you can choose your mic. This if you have more than one. And here you put in your name. It's a good idea to put something that's recognizable, because that's, oh, I have a sound problem.
Yeah, and
That's one of the things that might happen, is you might get feedback, and in which case then just jump out or contact somebody about it, and we'll try to figure out the problem. There's a lot here that we don't know about yet, so things can go wrong. So you can also put a different face on your avatar. So you're dropped in here. The first time you get dropped in, you're dropped by the welcome mat usually. And notice that over here on the side are links to the frequently asked questions glossary, code of conduct. You might want to read that. We're not going to allow any fist fights or pinching here. There's email support. Now, you use that if you have problems, or if there's something going on that you think you need to communicate to people. There's a link over here about how to mute and unmute. And here's one that tells you how to get around. It's not really clear, but it'll help you. So what I'm going to show you is how you can navigate around in this map. Notice right here below the avatar, it says, no, move the map, not the avatar. So you're kind of inclined to want to grab your avatar and move it, but that doesn't really work. What you do is you grab the map and move it. The avatar stays stationary with respect to the screen, and you move the map around underneath. Notice that the avatar has a sort of a fan. That's the direction that you're facing. That'll mean more to you later. So another thing you can do is if you click the right mouse button with your cursor below the avatar, you can rotate the map. Now you can also you can move around with your arrow keys, front key and back key. This might be kind of jerky for some people. And
So
then you can use the side keys to rotate the map. You don't have to use your mouse.
Sorry,
you can also use your tablet.
I was going to say, Dave,
using the pinch method.
Maybe you can hear me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Use the pinch method to zoom. So with the mouse wheel, I can zoom out. I recommend this because you can pretty much see the entire map and see the whole layout. Now notice there's Dave moving around there. There are areas around this map that are named that are sort of like discussion areas. Like there's lenticular lawn, crossview sunroom, anaglyph alley. And if we go a little bit further out, you can see up above there, it says the Ray Zone Zone. That's where Dave wants to meet me. Also, there are areas that have links. The links all have the little fingers on them to show you that you can click them. So if you click here, it'll bring up the latest video in the theater or the latest Zoom seminar. All right, so now I'm going to go to the fair. And the trade fair has a number of links on it. If you click the center one, it just takes you to the web page. But each of the booths has its own link. So you can link to Dr. T or Berezin. And I recommend to the vendors that during the times between seminars, maybe you want to bring your avatar over and just hang out at your booth so people can come and find you and talk to you. There's a help center up here, and this is basically all the same stuff that's on the home page. And this banner links to the home page. And you can take a break and go over here to the loo. Let's see. So I'm looking for Dave now. There's somebody up here, and I'm going to go click on him if he'll stop for a minute. And look, there it says Dave, come on. So I'm going to travel up there, and as I get close to him, when I'm speaking, he can hear me. When you're far away, you don't hear people so well, and when you get closer, you can hear much better. So you can gather a group of people together and all speak together and collect in a little group. And be aware that if you have your back turned to somebody, they can't hear you as well as when you're facing them. So let's see. I think that's about it. If there are problems, go to that contact info link, and we'll try to give you some tech support as soon as possible. And I think this room is going to be open pretty much continuously. So just drop in any old time. You can say, hey, come meet me at the virtual art gallery, or just come in and hang out and try to find your friends. So have fun and contact me if you have any questions. Back to you, Dave.
All right. Thanks, Dave. And thanks for all the work on setting up all these little bits. Like not too long ago, this was a barren shell of what it is now. And there's some fun little kind of features hidden in here. So feel free to like sit on a couch, and the rotating, as Dave mentioned, you have kind of a little like a semicircle. So there's Dan Shelley wandering up to me. If you want to mute someone, like if someone is like is bothering you, you can mute them. They can unmute. If there's still a problem, then come talk to, send a message, and we'll come in and deal with it. So yeah, the thing this demonstration is missing is really just the audio bit. So you really have to get in there, get your sea legs, and move around, and then you can always like come down here. You can click on something, and then you can see what's happening in the event now. So maybe what we'll do is just kind of I still have.
Well, one other thing we should point out, just for people who aren't all that familiar with how to use Zoom itself, A lot of the things that you'll be attending, the workshops, the SIGs, and so on, will be in Zoom. And there are a couple things that you have control of on your end. For instance, if you go to the top right of your Zoom window, right now you'll see a little button that you can, it kind of looks like a grid that you can switch between what's called gallery view and speaker view. When you set it to speaker view, it highlights the person who's currently speaking. Um, Although in this case, it looks like it's spotlighted on Dave.
No, I turned it
Uh,
off. You're on.
Did you? Okay. So when you select speaker view, you'll just see the person who's actually talking. And as people have a conversation, it'll switch back and forth between whoever the current speaker is. If you'd like to see the big view that shows everybody, you can switch that to gallery view, and then you'll see all the little boxes with everybody's cameras. And you can do that anytime during a Zoom presentation. You can switch back and forth between seeing just the person who's speaking and seeing the whole group that's in the room. Now, there may be multiple pages. You may actually have to page through to actually see everybody. And when you're in this um, gallery view, the person who's speaking, you'll note, has a yellow box around them. So if you're trying to figure out who's talking, look for that yellow box. A couple other things. Your microphone and camera controls are in the bottom left of your Zoom window. There's a button for your microphone where you can mute and unmute. When we've given you permission to unmute, you can do that. And there is a button to start and stop the video stream from your camera. So if you've got to step away from your camera and you want to stay connected to the Zoom meeting, it's usually a good idea to mute your microphone and stop your camera until you come back. And then if you need to leave the Zoom, down in the bottom right corner of the Zoom window, you'll see a little red button that you can click to leave. And then if you've left the Zoom and you need to come back in, you can always go back to the 3D-Con website and click the current event link to come back into the room, and we'll monitor that waiting room to make sure you get back in. So that's just the basic functions of Zoom. I just thought maybe we should go over that before we end here.
Yep, that is useful. And I don't think you wanted to see my desktop, but what I wanted to do was point out another thing, which is that something that's useful from a 3D standpoint. So you can see my shared screen right now, and your experience might be a little different on an iPhone or a tablet, or if you have two screens. But generally, if you double click this shared screen, it'll on a desktop, it'll make that screen smaller. And then you'll have a drop down at the very top of the screen where you can click and choose the zoom percentage. And so that might help you to make the whole screen smaller if you need to make the stereo view smaller, to use whatever kind of lorgnette you have to view it. If you don't understand that, no problem. Just ask someone, and I'm sure we'll help out. So
there were a couple of Zoom questions in the chat. I should point out what I was describing just now was for the browser version on a computer. If you're in Zoom on a phone or a tablet, it works a little bit differently. You'll only see a couple people at a time, and if you want to move through the people, you need to swipe left and right on your screen. Now, when you're in gallery view, if you want to see more people in the gallery, you'll notice that when your mouse is floating over the gallery, you'll see little arrows. In gallery view, they're on the right and left. And then when we are in presentation, you can also switch to a gallery view that lines up next to what's being presented. And then those little arrows are at the top and bottom. But you can click those arrows and it takes you through. And so like right now, there's actually 4 pages of people, although it looks like the last 2 pages are people who don't have their cameras turned on. But you can use those little arrows in gallery view to move through and see everybody's beautiful faces.
Thanks, Eric.
And as I said, on a phone, you need to actually take your finger and swipe back and left and right on your screen to move through them.
Right. And then one thing that's important, everyone on screen seems to get it, but sometimes so if you're on a phone and you don't see yourself, that doesn't mean that we can't see you. So just make sure that you have the video stopped. If you want it to stop, so I click stop. You can click to mute, and then also next to the mute, there's a little arrow, and that's where you can kind of you can leave the computer audio. Like if you're in a session where you're not going to talk anyway, you can choose to leave the audio and then go into the Zoom room or something.
Yeah, just keep in mind, if you leave your camera on and you're not thinking about it, we're all going to watch you eat that sandwich.
Yeah, and then you're going to really eat that sandwich, and we're going to say we don't need to watch that, and then we're going to stop your video. So see what happens. Any other questions in the chat? Someone said something about the pictures, like when you turn your video off. I believe we have that disabled at the moment. Video camera's off. There's a line through the icon. Okay, great. So so again, send any questions that you have, just write them on Facebook group, or send them to the email, or chat with people in High Fidelity. Make new friends. This is a really amazing event, and there's a lot of like just wacky, wild, weird people that have joined, and can't wait for the rest of the event.
One other Zoom function that someone mentioned in the chat, you actually have the ability during a Zoom session to send a private message to somebody else who's in here. If you go into the chat, and you'll notice at the very bottom, when your mouse is at the bottom, you can click a little button that says chat, and it'll open up the chat on your screen. When you're in the chat, there's a little place where you can select whether a message you post goes to everyone, or if you click where it says everyone, you can actually select an individual person who's in here, and you can send them a private message over chat. So if you want to have your own conversations while you're in here during a workshop, someone has a question for someone else, you're able to do that.
All righty. Oh, you can click on someone's name, just send directly to that. One thing too to remember about that is if you if someone sends you a private message, Zoom will switch your target audience to be that person. So if you wanted to send a message out to someone, just make sure that the little drop down in the chat box says everyone. And then Q&A in some sessions we may hold toward the end. A good thing to point out is in the participants window, there are little icons at the bottom, and you can choose to raise your hand. So if like in a SIG, a special interest group where everyone's sharing, you might want to raise your hand, and we'll call on you to ask a question. So, all right. So without further ado, I think we have a few minutes until our next session, and that's the workshop with Jim Harp and the VR overview. So
yeah, we'll probably want to close this out in just a minute or two so that we can open the next room and people can come into it. But I guess if there are any last questions here, you can type it into the chat right now, and we'll see what we can answer right before we close this out.
All right. Someone mentioned that Zoom supports 2 screens. So there's you can go into the preferences and change that and have the 2 screens. And I find that really useful.
Here's a good question. We have a question about the keynote presentations and the device platform configuration for viewing those. The keynote presented on Saturday morning by Denis Pellerin will be presented in a parallel side-by-side format for free viewing and lorgnettes only. There will not be a version of his keynote for 3D TVs, and there will not be an anaglyph version of his keynote. So his keynote is meant to be viewed on a phone, a tablet, or on a computer in a browser. And you'll either need to free view or use a lorgnette to view that. The
Right.
the Harold Lloyd keynote on Saturday afternoon, evening, that one will be presented in anaglyph. So for that, you'll want your red cyan glasses.
Yep. So this is the lorgnette, the funny little glasses, and this is when I mentioned that you might need to resize your screen a tiny bit, or you might want to log on a cell phone, or go to the YouTube stream on your cell phone, which will be just probably a nice size to view the screen. Or a mirror viewer if you have one. All right, great. What is and how do I get to high fidelity? So go to the virtual convention page and click on the little high fidelity link. It's at the top. That'll open a new window, and then you can wander around in that room. You can, okay, so in high fidelity real quick, here's high fidelity. And Dave wanted to show, oh, I'm already in there. So headphones help. I'm just going to turn mine off since I'm on Zoom. I'm just setting them to nothingness. So here, this is really useful too. What you want to do is set your name, just so that people know how to talk to you, and it's just congenial. So set your name, and then I think he showed you can click and you can choose a file from your desktop, and you can change your picture. You can change the surrounding area of what happens to talk to you. And then if you're in here, and like you might click on someone who has resourceful wildebeest, right? So we might say, hey, resourceful wildebeest, did you know you can click on the little hamburger menu and you can go to profile and you can change your name to less resourceful wildebeest or something like that. Very good. So we have some real people. Yep.
You can also click on your icon to change your name and your avatar.
Yeah, good point.
Click on the face. Click on your icon.
Yeah. No, I just did. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so there's also a good link down at the bottom in the social salon. The Facebook goes right to the Facebook group if you want to go chat a message for someone or get to the rooms or the events from down here. So I want to close this and go talk to people in high fidelity before the next meeting.
Yeah, and one last thing we should point out, there are several of us here who will be hosts in these Zoom workshops and sessions. And if you have questions, you can always message me or message Dave, comment to us in the chat, and we'll see what we can do. We'll do our best to help you through the technical stuff.
All right, so the room is closing. Now I'll see everybody else on the convention floor. Goodbye, everyone. See you in a little bit.
And if you're planning to come to the workshop,